We all know that club visits are something that are done by area directors, and we all know that it's not just about ticking a box. It's about making a difference to that club when you visit, and what you put in that report is so important. So now I will hand over to Namrita, who's going to talk to us about club visits that make a difference, how to conduct effective club visits. Thank you, Namrita.
Thank you so much, Ricky. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here on a Sunday early morning. I hope we will make this a fruitful session for you all today. I'm going to quickly share my screen and let me know if you all can see it.
Sure can.
Awesome. So, why walk when you can dance with your club visits? Meaning, why just write yes, no, maybe, not applicable, but instead write what club is really doing well and putting an effort into why, putting an effort as to what the club needs to achieve, rather than just putting not applicable is what I mean to say. And I love this quote otherwise as well. Well, these are the concepts we are going to talk about in this session today. We're going to talk about facts, real work that we can do as area directors, and some data that will help us support our clubs better. So after an informative day one of district officer training, we are now into the second half. And the session here is going to help you a lot in doing the actual groundwork for our area directors. Well, what do we have here? Do we have, how many area directors do we have in this session today? And how many ex-area directors do we have there? Perfect. I'm hoping that's a good crowd. I can see only limited screens there. Before we go into understanding more of this, I want to request all the amazing leaders in this forum to sit upright. Focus on the screen. I hope everyone's doing that. Perfect. I can see a few of them moving closer to the screen, and get ready for an interactive session. It would be highly appreciated if one of you all participate just as you would, not one of you all of you all participate just as you would in a live in-person session. And fingers crossed, if everything goes well, we will have a live session. Saying that, let's get on to it. So before we jump on to learning the core responsibilities of area director, which are right there, how about ponder on who is an area director? Like a one-liner definition of an area director in the world of Toastmasters. Anyone from the audience? In fact, any newly elected area director. For example, you can go with, the one who visits clubs.
Just to support your clubs.
Who supports your club? Perfect. Thank you, Peter. Give me one more and I'll move ahead.
Make a difference to the clubs.
Make a difference to the clubs. I think that these two things already define what an area director has to be doing. And that's exactly what the area director should be doing. So this is who an area director is in action. You are the direct link between the club and the division and the district. From here on, all the area directors in this training, I want you to remember, please, this until the end of your term and pass it on to your successor area directors, that you, my fellow Toastmasters, are the direct link between the club and the division and the district. And that is a great responsibility to have, no pressure. A connection that links the entire district's network makes you the most important asset of the district. Without you all, the district would cease to exist. And I'm not kidding. Now that we have laid the importance of this significant role, let's look at its responsibilities as to how can we execute the role in the best way possible. How about I have someone from the audience help me read these responsibilities, please. And when you read these, I want you reading this with a smile and with passion. So how about we have a newly elected area director read this out? Or probably the area director of the year. Do we have Joe and Eric in the room? Okay, I'm taking that as a no. Anyone, any newly elected area director, please.
If you like, I can do it.
Thank you, Kate, that would be great.
Okay, the area director responsibility. To visit clubs, maintain regular contact with club presidents, encourage clubs, ensure highest quality, identify opportunities, support and motivate clubs, and assist in achieving distinguished recognition, and preferably at a president's distinguished level.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kate. That was fabulous for a Sunday morning. Let's start with visiting the clubs. As all our district trainers have reiterated in these trainings, since last year or even in yesterday's trainings, visiting your clubs minimum twice a year is mandatory, because that is when you will be able to write those outstanding, I'm hoping, club visit reports, which we will have a look at shortly. The next one is maintain regular contact with club presidents. Trust me, building a rapport with all your club presidents gives you an easy pass into supporting your clubs. And let me put it in this way. It can, sometimes get lonely up there being a president sometimes. Yes, they have their executive teams, but the teams look at presidents for answers, for direction. And sometimes you picking up that phone and calling one of your club presidents just to check on how they are doing and do they need any help makes a huge difference. And this is me speaking from my personal experience. I was area director 2 years ago. Oh my God, time flies. 2 years ago. And everything I speak and share here with you is through experience. So don't forget to put into your calendar those regular 15-minute catch-ups with your presidents. That will make a huge difference. Encourage clubs. How do you do this? Encourage ideas and cooperation from clubs and members both. What this means is you need to encourage and motivate your club executives to think about new ideas of improvement. We all need to understand that there is always scope for improvement no matter what. And with new committee members every year, with the changing world, there is always a new and improved way of looking at things and implementing it. Implementing in a world of Toastmasters particularly. This is what I did. Emailed the presidents requesting the best time to talk to them, and then had that casual catch up, which was meant to be for 15 minutes. And many a times ended up speaking for an hour, discussing new ideas and improvement plans. Well, you don't have to do that, trust me. But well, that's how my conversations go. But I think so, we being Toastmasters, we end up going over time anyways, always, with everywhere in every walk of life. How can we ensure highest quality? I've not been clicking on this. I need to work on my presentation skills. Ensure highest quality. Ensure that every club in your area is of the highest quality so that members benefit from the Toastmasters education program. This is what is creating the wow factor for your clubs and for your members. When you create such a high quality experience for your members, it sends out a ripple effect or a domino effect to the entire Toastmasters community, which in turn benefits you yourself. How can you ensure this? Easy answer. Provide moral and district level support to your presidents. From where do you get your district level support? From your division directors. Identify opportunities. Identify opportunities for club enhancement that helps bring about positive change. There is enough negativity out over there. Let's bring in some positivity. For example, if some clubs aren't actively participating in contests, then encourage them to get onto it. Explain the importance of having contests within their clubs as to how to inspire and motivate members to hone their communication skills. When you think from a member level, members think from, okay, how am I going to be a best speaker? They have access to these international YouTube links, and what they see is that is their goal. They have communication goals. So try to encourage them by telling them that when they do contests, they are going to gain, their club members are going to gain these skills. How are we going to support and motivate the clubs? This is an easy one to say, but requires dedication from your end as an area director. Support and motivate clubs to provide the best possible member experience. Again, create that wow member experience. Everyone has a different way of working, and everyone brings in their style and their energy. And the final goal is to create that wow experience. So try to do that. This basically helps in enhancing the member retention, which is very high on our list right now from a district and from Toastmasters International perspective. People are not that keen on, or not that, how should I put this? Not that encouraged or motivated to do or to come on Zoom calls, because it's definitely, there is a factor called Zoom fatigue, and that's taking on a lot of members. So try to enhance member retention by supporting and motivating the clubs and build membership. When you do this, this is one key thing. That is one key thing even you gain in here. Patience. Definitely, you're going to build a lot of patience. It's not easy. You're going to speak to a lot of club executives, and it's going to be fun. Patience, and I think so patience is something which is highly regarded as a quality of a leader, or a leader should be having. And lastly, assist in achieving distinguished recognition. Assist your area and the clubs in it to earn distinguished recognition, thereby contributing to division and district recognition. This will let all your clubs acquire a sense of achievement, very important, which is, and no one wants to basically do things that doesn't bring them some sense of satisfaction. I mean, I'm not sure how many of you all agree, but I feel that there has to be, it doesn't have to be in terms of awards or anything. There is a sense of satisfaction. It could be by helping someone, by supporting someone, or probably completing your education goals. There has to be some sense of satisfaction. And knowing that you have reached a milestone by winning those recognitions sets a sense of satisfaction and motivates members to keep going ahead in this journey of public speaking and leadership. Well, I hope that was helpful with learning the core responsibilities of AD. Let's talk about the club visits.
Namrita, can I just interrupt for a minute just before you
Absolutely.
go on?
Go ahead, Carl.
Can I just do a message to people online at the moment that this is district officer training, not club officer training. I see that there is some people on here who are presidents of clubs. This training is not for them. You need to go back to the events calendar on the district webpage and look for COT, C-O-T, club officer training, not district officer training. We are not talking about any club roles. And even if you attend this, you will not get credit for your club or for yourself for attending. So I can see somebody already there. In fact, it's someone from my club, Steve. You shouldn't be at this training. You need to look at COT training, and I don't want to waste your weekend with you being here. So if you have any questions, you can send that to me in the chat, but please remove yourself respectfully from this training because you won't get credit for it and it's not aimed at you. So thanks for that.
And if eligible, do consider applying as an area director. Whoever the club president is and is interested in the district officer training. Anyways, thank you, Carl. Let's look at the club visits. Moments of truth. I am very sure all our experienced Toastmasters know about this. Can anyone give me out all the 6 moments of truth, or even, few? Just unmute and let's do it together. I have done a lot of talking here. Can I have someone from our stellar audience to help me remember some of the moments of truth, please?
Fellowship and membership recognition.
Fellowship, yes, and membership recognition. It's a combination of that, but not bad. Thank you, Eleanor. We have more. In total, 6 moments of truth. Come on, experienced Toastmasters. You all knew this before I.
Can I get the forms out?
First impressions.
They're just to the left of me.
First impressions, yes. First impressions, we have got fellowship.
Membership orientation.
Membership orientation, absolutely.
Program planning and meeting organization. Membership
Yes.
strength, achievement recognition.
Yes.
That's impressive.
So you have read, you've read the Moments of Truth book, you've read the District Leadership Handbook. Thank you so much for that, Harshita and Eleanor. Here are a few tips I would like to give that you as area directors can make sure are doing. First impressions, how do we do that? So before the visit, build rapport with the club president before your visit by asking about his or her Toastmasters experience or the club history. How can you do it during the visit? Dress professionally if you wish to, and wear your Toastmasters name badge and that pin that you'll be getting. After the visit, submit your area director's club visit report, which we will be looking at in a while. And you have to do that by November 30th for the first visit and May 31st for the second visit. Membership orientation. So before the visit, email the club president a link to the area director's club visit report, or now what you can do is you can, if you go into the area club visit report section in the Toastmasters International website, when you try to create the report, you will have an option to select the date as to when you will be able to do the visit. And when you select the date, the email directly goes to the club president. So that's one thing taken care of for you. What can you do during the visit? If you have requested time on the meeting agenda, set an example for club members by delivering a speech from the Toastmasters manual. So there are a lot of short presentations and education programs that you can take up. For example, you have got the mentor program. I can't remember the others, but there are a few of them. You can also tick off your pathways education while you're doing that. And plus you're educating and helping out the clubs. What I did was I spoke to my club president, and when I was going for the visit, that is, I asked them what the club needed. And they told me that, well, they are not good at evaluation. So they need more educating on how to do Toastmasters level evaluation. So I took up that manual from Toastmasters International and I gave I think so it was 10 or 15 minutes presentation. And that was actually helpful for them. The members got to know how we do evaluation in contests, how we do it in Toastmasters in general. So that's something that you can do during the visit. And after the visit, address club questions, needs, and concerns. Very important. How can you ensure fellowship, variety, and communication? So before the visit, contact the club president at least 1 month before you plan to visit. That's a good practice. And request time on the meeting agenda, because you don't want to just be sitting over there, in the dark, and people not knowing that they had an area director visit them, look at what they were doing. It also gives a sense of presence, the district presence to the club as well. When an area director comes and visits them, they all are, the club makes sure that the venue is set up, all the roles are filled up, there's a experienced Toastmaster leading the meeting. So there's a lot that happens, and that actually enhances the quality of the club. So make sure you are contacting and letting the club that time to prepare well in advance. During the visit, stick to your allotted time. Be concise, and remember that your visit is part of the overall meeting agenda. It's not separate, it's part of the agenda. After the visit, send a thank you note and encourage the club president to contact you. Thank you notes can be really heartwarming and very encouraging. I remember I did that for my area speech contest, but I think so I did go a bit overboard, because I did write handwritten notes and cards for judges, for all the organizing committee. And yeah, I think so I spent 2 nights just writing notes personally for every single person there. But that was something that I took away from that speech contest. You can do the same for a simple thank you note or a simple thank you email to the president or the club executives is more than enough. Program planning and meeting organization. So before the visit, I would suggest familiarize yourself with club officers' names. Very important to remember names when you are in a leadership position. It gives a sense of fellowship. As volunteer leaders, they should be appreciated for their efforts. We all are volunteer leaders. And I think so. A thank you to our fellow leaders is not something that is difficult to do. So please do that, and please appreciate everyone's efforts. During the club, mention the following topics in your presentation to, so there are a few topics that I'll be talking about in your presentation to members at the club. For example, the club mission, characteristics of successful clubs, the distinguished club program, very important one, and any upcoming trainings, contests, or other Toastmasters events that they are invited to. These information you'll be getting from the district, that is from your division directors and from your trio and from the district leadership team. So try to pass on this information as much as possible. When you get an email from us and from the district leadership team, and if it says that the members need to know this, forward it to the club presidents and request them to pass it on to their members or probably announce in their clubs. Usually this thing gets missed out in somewhere in between, and it doesn't reach the member. That's the reason we get low attendance sometimes for certain events. So try to do that. And after the visit, communicate with club president at least once a month. Don't just leave them hanging over there. And respond to phone calls or emails in a timely manner. You've taken on a leadership role. You are an area director. You need to give some availability, some time to this role. So try to do that. Be available on phone calls. Set a time for yourself. That's what we all do. We are available after 6:30, so 6:30 to 8:30. I'm okay if anyone is calling me for any support or concern or questions. So something like that. Membership strength. Before the visit, ask the club president if he or she has any concerns or has already identified challenges. Plan to address these during your club visit, a very good opportunity to speak to them personally. During the visit, listen and observe so you can complete your report accurately and provide guidance to the club. Now, this is all about being in person over there. How do we do this virtually? You will have to either join the call maybe 10-15 minutes before, try to get on to that casual conversation that people have in the online session, try to encourage people to talk in that 10 minutes before the meeting starts, and also use the chat section is what I would suggest. If you have spoken even once, or if you know that this is the secretary, this is the treasurer, ping them. You know, how is it going? How is your club managing? How are you taking on with your new role? What do you know about treasurer? Just get on to that conversation. Talk to all the club executives via chat. So that's one way to do it in a virtual setup. After the club, make extra club visits if you can, especially early in the program year when it may be most helpful to clubs. I'll be very realistic with everyone over here. It's very difficult to even sometimes complete those 2 visits, but it is manageable if you start your visits or if you plan your visits early on. You can definitely do more than 2 visits a year. So it is recommended. I mean, you don't want to just meet someone once and then see someone or that person who you're supposed to be talking day and night meet next year. I mean, it doesn't work. There is no way you can build rapport in 1 hour. You have to be in contact. You have to be in touch with people. So try to make at least more than 2 visits if possible. Achievement and recognition. Now, this is the last one. Before the visit, check out the club's progress in the Distinguished Club Program by, so you can visit the www.toastmasters.org /distinguished performance reports. I feel like an ad in, that gets played before in a YouTube video. But well, that's the link. Just go on to Toastmasters International and check out the distinguished performance. You being the area director will have access to all the clubs under you, and you will be able to track their record, the performance. During the visit, maintain an attitude of service and respect differences in the club cultures. And after the visit, strengthen your relationship with clubs by attending officer installations, a very good ceremony to be there. It's always good to represent the district, show your presence in the clubs, and give out awards. That's the best thing you can do in a director position. And any other special events, if possible, try to visit those. For example, the 100th anniversary of a club or any kind of anniversary special events that's happening. Okay, too much time on one slide, isn't it? So, let's see what our clubs within the District 73 have been doing well. So this is 2019 to 20, and also what we did from 2020 to 2021. It is one of the most useful analysis that we as a term can look at and work upon in our areas of leadership. So if you look at the graph closely, now this was last year's. I just wanted to keep the slide, but not talk on it. This is how our graph looked for all these aspects or attributes last year in November. So the fellowship was high, the consistent branding was high, but the member renewal follow-up and guest follow-up were really, really low. How does it look this year? So this year I've kept the alignment the same. Ideally, it should be, which is the highest to the lowest, but I just wanted to keep the same picture for last year and this year. Here, if you see, well, the guest packs are again low, really low. Fellowship stays at the top. It's the highest which is a very good thing. The officers list on time is also good. But the mentor programs and mentor recognition is the lowest. Now, definitely, I mean, I don't have to reiterate this. We all are in pandemic even now. And things have changed. We are sitting in an online forum. It's very difficult to build that rapport with people, to have mentors contact you. But I think so that is what is definitely missing. We do have fellowship, but it is not reflecting in our member recognition part, which is a bit of, it's a weird situation to be in when we have so much of fellowship within the community. Why are we missing out on mentorship? Why? That's the question. So you as an area director has an opportunity to get close to the clubs, try and understand what is missing. It could be a mentor program that is not happening. Maybe club executives are not aware that they should be promoting mentorship, a lot of mentorship within their clubs. The reasons, there could be numerous reasons. Try to understand that, let us know. We can work out either a training program, we can roll out some incentives so that members can actively participate. We can do a lot of these things. So as an area director, do that, give that analysis to your division director. This was this year. Now moving on, there is always, and I want to reiterate this, there is always something to look forward to. And so what our dear clubs can improve upon. So this was again last year, last year, 2019 to 2020, when Carl was the CGD. Time just flies, Carl, isn't it? Oh my God. And these were the These were the things that were the top focus. The COT attendance was really good. The focus on pathways was improving. PR was also getting there. Formal inductions and mentor program were there to some, these could have been improved, my bad. These could have been improved. How does it look this year around? So member engagement at club and district level is high. Well, district level has comparatively reduced. If you go to the last years, I've not added it here. My bad. But anyways, the district involvement is something that we all can look into. It is something that can be improved and members can benefit a lot. The district has a lot to offer, which I feel, which we think that it's not being taken up by the members, or probably they are not aware of somehow. Member tracking can be improved as well. I think so, because of the virtual setup, the member tracking is again a problem. The guests are not being followed up. That is something can also be improved. So, I'm not showing you wrong data. My bad. I don't want to confuse you. This is the current one. Poor member induction. I'm not sure what's going wrong here, but it's been reported that the induction is not that great. Again, because maybe we are not in an in-person setup is what I assume. Maybe something that you can encourage your club executives to look at. When a new member comes in, have the new member inducted in the same way that we used to do in-person. And lack of expectations, value, and process focus around more PR. And when we say more PR, yes, the district public relations manager has managed to take the district promotions from, I don't know the last year's data, but to a very high level. Yes, Harshita.
If I can ask you a question, is it okay?
Go ahead.
I think even Jan got the same question. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what exactly those 128.67. Is it the clubs or is the members that they're? I don't know.
It is the
maybe what
clubs. It is the clubs.
Cool,
It
thank
is
you.
the clubs. Yeah. But the district PR is a very good benchmark that we can look at, the clubs can look at, and improve the club's PR as well. So we need to educate our VPPR, the Vice President Public Relations. That's not happening. The Vice President Public Relation has the lowest attendance in our club officer trainings. We need to encourage them to come into these club officer trainings and get educated as to what they're supposed to be doing, being in that role. Just having a Vice President Public Relations and just posting few things out over there on social media is not what the public relations role is. A public relations role is to, when a club meeting is happening, you're supposed to encourage more active participation from the members, encourage the guests, and make some videos or photos. There are a lot of creative ways to do things, but that's not happening within the clubs. There are few clubs that are benchmarks, and you can definitely look at them and how they do the PR. And while all this, the VPPR also has to be mindful of the branding, the Toastmasters branding. So there's a lot of work, and the VPPR needs to know all those things, and they will get to know when they attend the club officer training. So all the area directors, please encourage your club executives to encourage their VPPRs to attend the CODs, learn about it, and then implement it in their clubs. So that's something that can be improved again. Again, mentor program is something that also can be improved. Okay, so I'll be sharing this presentation after this session. So you will have this data and you can actually use it across your club visits when you do that. Area Director Club Visit Reports. Now, so all the area directors and Toastmasters leaders, before we begin our leadership year and before we start visiting clubs, supporting clubs and commence writing those club reports, I want you all to pause for a moment. And here today at the district officer training is the best time to do so. Pause for a moment and think in this way. Why? Why are you writing these club visit reports? And what is the whole point of creating that club visit report? What is, let's say, the return on investment for putting in so much of effort here? Okay, I'm hoping everyone's paused and probably given it a thought. Again, throwing the ball into our audience's court. Tell me what do you see here? Sorry, yeah. What do these three images portray? Please feel free to unmute and shout out your answers, please.
Teamwork.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Can you be louder? Who's that?
Lifting above your weight.
Well, we can. That's a good one. I'll take that one. Yes, lifting about. But what does it imply?
Areas of strength.
Yeah.
Yes, you need strength to do that, isn't it? Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Anthony.
And endurance.
Endurance. Yes, absolutely. Endurance. Exactly. What else? There are three images.
Overcoming challenges.
Overcoming challenges. Absolutely.
Connection.
Connection.
Teamwork.
Beautiful.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Exactly. Come on, we all are Toastmasters. We do this a lot. We are leaders. We have
Collaboration.
Can you say that again, please?
Collaboration.
Collaboration. Exactly. One more word, and I'm gonna
chasing up the goals.
Chasing up the goals. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Chasing up the goals. getting on to goals. When we plan something, try to achieve the goals. Thank you. Okay. When you conduct your club visits, consider these following things. Strengths. Recognize and praise positive aspects of the club. It is very important to do this. Very, very important. Challenges. You all guessed it, right? Challenges. Mention 1 or 2 challenges and the resources available to address them. Help them out. I mean to say your clubs. Address those challenges because your club leaders need to know, and you being their leader, it is your duty to point out the shortcomings in a subtle yet professional way for the club's future betterment. It is just like doing an evaluation for a speaker. And lastly, support. Ask how you and other district leaders can assist the club. Make a note of these requests and take them back to your fellow district leaders for resolution and assistance. So from here on, the next 2 slides are of utmost importance as it covers all the important pointers that we as area directors need to be aware of for this term of ours. These points will help us achieve success in our roles as area directors. So first one, club visits. Try and plan visits to your clubs. This will ensure that you are not stressing and scrambling for visits in the end just before your submission of your report. Please, please, please avoid that. Trust me, having those early visits will give you the best club visit and report writing experience. So plan early visits, and I would suggest start getting in touch with your presidents right away. Take advantage of online visits. There is always a silver lining. This is the best one. Yes, these are not that good times. Yes, we miss our face-to-face in-person meetings for heaps of clubs even today, but there is a bright side to this as well. Get to know your clubs while sitting in the comfort of your homes. Until we get back to our normal in-person meetings in most of the states, we can take advantage of these online meetings without worrying about travel and location. So my suggestion, make use of this opportunity in disguise and make sure you visit our clubs visit your clubs at least even more than twice a year, which is a mandatory requirement. Build that strong rapport with your clubs under your area. And then once you get onto the face-to-face setup, enjoy the fellowship in person. Reporting. When you do all these things, that is make early visits to your club, it will give you ample amount of time and a relaxed mindset to fill in all the details in the report. Now, I really wanted to bring this up. Why avoid marking not applicable? It is okay to mark columns text boxes marked as NA. However, that not applicable is in no way going to help your club's progress. We as area directors need to understand that these reports get sent to the presidents of the club once you submit it to the TMI website. And we as area directors need to precisely understand that we are here to support and provide our clubs with constructive feedbacks. It is just like your speech getting evaluated. So imagine if you are the speaker and your evaluator has given you an evaluation that said facial expressions not applicable, speech structure not applicable, tone of speech not applicable. Oh my God, you as a speaker would be boggled and would not benefit in any way from this evaluation, isn't it? Or would you? That's it. This is how you should look at your area director reports. Your presidents and the club are your speakers, and you, the area directors, are the evaluators. Yes, I can see Amit. Yes, Harshita.
Sorry, I think After Amit, I can ask. I think he got his hand up.
Yes.
Thanks, Sam. So just I wanted to share something on the early visits point, just to be cognizant of the fact that a lot of the clubs are getting new committee members, and the club officers are now stepping into the roles itself. So while it's good to reach out to them early on saying, we do want to do a visit, it's better to stagger it sometime, in a month or 2 months down the line, once they have established the club, once they have kind of, established their ways of working, settle in with the new club officers, etc. You would get a better picture of how they actually operate in a business as usual or in a normal scenario, a couple of months down the line. But again, to the point, don't make it too late. Don't keep it right till the fag end towards October, November. A lot of clubs would also start getting busy with contests, etc. So it's a bit of a balance that, you give them enough time to mature to their new incoming club committees, etc., as well as, start getting the business back to normal. So that's the ideal time for you to do the visits.
Thank you for sharing that, Amit. Yes, it is a bit of a balance that you have to find in between. You don't want to go very early as well, but when you go early, I feel that you can get in touch with the previous committee and get to know people, because that is something that the area director needs to build with the club executives. And that is what we can do with these really early area visits, is what I feel. But thanks for sharing that, Amit. And that's definitely a good point. Harshita.
Can you please give an example of someone marking a not applicable one to a particular field in the area director's report?
So there are multiple fields. I don't have the area director open right now. Do you have it open at your end? The PDF?
I will straight away now. Yeah.
So usually, there are these different sections, right? Membership and all the others. And there are multiple questions within these sections. So the first part would be filled in completely with all the information. The rest are a bit repetitive, yes, and that's been taken care by the new area director report now, and hopefully it should be good. But those are the sections that usually are marked not applicable. But ideally, you should try to put in more information, because when you visit clubs, you do observe a lot more things than just that one paragraph. Do you have it open, and would you?
Yep, I can share it if you want.
Yeah, let's share it. Yes, you want.
I'm on mute. Hi, is for the benefit of area directors who may not have done the role before, prior to visiting a club, it is best, isn't it, to send a club visit report form to the president maybe a fortnight before your meeting, so that they are prepared for your visit? If so, could you advise people where to download that form from?
Sure. On the TI website, when you are an area director, you have the access to the area director club visit reports. And also, if you just type into the TI resource in the search button, you will directly get, or what I'll do, I actually have, in this slide itself, I have the link from where you can download. And if not, I will send the link to you directly after this session. I'll put it in the chat.
I also just quickly step in there, Namrita?
Yes.
So
yes, Nani.
We have a new form this year, Yvonne, and a new way of doing the reports. So Namrita was talking about it earlier, where you will be creating the report and the president will have access to that before the meeting. So the system's changed a little bit, and it's automating what you would have manually done in best practice in previous years.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danny. And exactly, I'm not going to repeat the same, but yeah. Yes, Eleanor.
Yes, I have a bit of a question, and this is around your why avoiding marking NA. If the club is doing things really well and there's not really much further that they can improve on, I'm looking at the area report in front of me, which it mentions how can the club improve. If they're doing it really well, I mean, I understand your point of view that it's like an evaluation that you provide feedback, but it does make it a bit challenging to
Yeah, in that case, I would suggest mentioning that the club is doing this aspect really well. That even that one-liner will help a lot for either the club presidents or even for when I read it, or Danny this year would be reading a lot of area director reports. It does help us understand that, because when you put not applicable, it's like we don't know. It's done in a better way. It's not done at all. We have no idea. So that's the part that I feel that probably we should avoid. That's the only, that's
So if that's the case, if there's say if there's no improvements, did you just want me to put in there no improvements at this time, or?
Yes, no improvements at this point in time, or this club is already doing it well. Okay. Just mention it, yes, that they are doing this well, and they are achieving the goal, and that should be more than enough.
All right, thanks.
Namrita, can I add a point for you?
Sure, Peter.
Of course, on your third slide, we did speak about moments of truth, which are the 6 elements of moments of truth the club successfully has to achieve.
Yeah.
Possibly, if the club can conduct this, moments of truth is actually a tool. It's a tool the club can use to find out the strengths and weaknesses. If they can do this session at the start of the Toastmasters year, and then they know where the club exactly stands. This is actually divided by 6 team members, and then they give their own progress. If that can be recorded on the June or July or something like this, then 2 months down the line, if the area governor goes there, if he can collect that sheet 2 months later, that would be an ideal way to avoid all these NAs and things like that.
That's a very good point, Kiru. Are you planning to do it with your area clubs?
Oh, of course.
I would suggest
my way of working is very different. My way of working is very different. So if I say that, everyone will get confused. I don't want to confuse people. I will love you, others to follow your way. Just giving my thoughts only. Thank you.
Sure. See, irrespective, we would love to have all the areas function in the same way, but I know, and I absolutely understand that, yes, it's a lot of, we have a lot of dynamic clubs out there. But yeah, that's a good point. And that's a very good way to implement moments of truth, and then get on to after 2 months and then look at how they have improved. So area directors out there, if you get a chance, do share moments of truth with your club executives, request them to work on it, and then tell them that you would be analyzing the progress based on this when you come for your visits later. Thank you, Kiru. Harshita, I'm just being mindful of time, and if we want, we can discuss this after this session on chat, or we can get on a call as well and discuss the any part of the area director club visit reports. Harshita, are you there?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Harshita. Moving on, what do we have? Evaluation. I believe I already have covered on this point, and that is why it is in bold here. In the presentation, your evaluations matter. Your observations matter. Few other things, submissions. Earlier, the better, because that way you avoid all the unnecessary stress. But again, try to find that balance. You don't want to go right away in the beginning, but you can build fellowship when you do that, when you visit the clubs in the beginning. As last year, I was on the parole. This year, I have, already started the handover with Daddy, carrying on the parole torch, so that we as a group and we as a team don't lose focus and achieve the success and become distinguished, hopefully. So carrying on the legacy of paroling, I kindly request you to chase up on the reports, Danny, but it would be awesome if all of us will be proactive and complete the reports much before the due date, 30th of November, people, please. Checks. just make sure when you submit your reports, you check whether you have received an email confirmation saying that it is submitted, because sometimes you can edit drafts in the TMI website while filling in the report and then forget to click on submit button. And you don't want to be in a situation where you have done everything but missed out on that final little check of submitting the report. So please ensure that you are making sure the report is being submitted. And dates, don't leave it for last minute submission and don't miss out. Now, this is how the area director report looks like, but we have a newer version. All the new area directors will have received the emails from Toastmasters International. And if not, Danny, are you planning to send out, or probably when the area directors will get registered in the system, they should be getting this email?
Yes, I'll certainly be going through District Central once we all have access. If there's no point now, because no one can see anything. So yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. So even I don't have the view. This is last year's area director report. I don't have that exact view and the questions right now with me. But whenever we have that, I'm sure that he's going to send it out to all the area directors, so you will know. But right now, this is how the second image that you see, the area director visit reports. This is where you can create your club visit, and meanwhile, and at the same time, you can select the date, and the email will directly go to the club president when you select the date. So talk with your club president beforehand, before you select the date. Don't surprise the poor president. I was already probably in so much excitement about being a president of the club. What do we have next? Yeah, area director report submission analysis. So in year 1920, we had a very high benchmark to achieve, because it was 100%. All the area director club reports were submitted 100%, first half of the year and second half, both. Last year around, I don't want to be constantly blaming the pandemic, but well, that is what it was. We did have 41% submission in the first half and 48% in the second half, so not bad. We did manage to achieve about 90 or 88%, which is not a bad number, especially when things changed so rapidly, when things just went out of hand for everyone across the globe. So not bad at all, which means this year around, Danny, I am 110% sure we're going to achieve 100% and get back to our benchmark. I have no doubt about it. Danny, if you're listening.
That sounds like a veiled threat there, Namrita. Absolutely, yes. Our team don't fail, so speak up early. If you can't get them done, we can support you. Also, the new form link Danielle has kindly put in the chat for us. So if you jump to the chat, guys, you'll be able to see the new report.
Thank you. And important dates to remember. Please remember these dates. Your first submission is to be completed by 30th of November, which this year, oh my God, is on a Tuesday. Yes, it's on a Tuesday. And second submission due date is by 31st of May, which is also on a Tuesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. My advice is to wrap up your report submission 15 days prior to these dates to avoid any kind of last minute glitch, please. Oops. Lastly, here are some links from where you can download important guides that will help you get started with your new role as the area director. And these are some additional links that you will find in the serving clubs through visits guide document. And I'm always there to ask away all your questions. You can email me on, I'll put my email out over there. Toastmasters Namrita at gmail.com or PQD at district. I'll put the email out over there. Okay, now we have just a few minutes left and I think some overtime anyways. But I just thought that I'll take this time to quickly go through what's the plan, because even like our leaders, the area directors, also need to know on a high level what is the training plan so that you can communicate out to your club executives. The focus areas in progress, where do we want to be? So what is the current state right now? We have a rich training repository available. We have a very strong pathways team. We have observed Zoom fatigue. All of us have. And the networking component is definitely missing because of the virtual presence. The future state, where do we want to be? And this is for the entire year. Eliminate Zoom fatigue. Try to have more in-person teamwork. So try to encourage that in your clubs if possible, in whichever state you are. Just try to encourage them to meet in person if possible, if they are not hybrid or online clubs. Easy to use digitized trainings should be made available. That is something that we are working on. And we have a fabulous education and training team this year, that is Sue Pedrick and Kevin Broughton. And we'll be working together to come out with a much more enhanced, digitized, easy to use training materials. And lastly, empowered leadership. Again, I mean, I can go on the whole day saying how important area directors are. So make sure you realize that yourself, you know it yourself, that you being energized, you having that passion will have that ripple effect and domino effect to your club executives. So get on to your self-leadership, work on it, and go out over there and win the world. Anyways, the 2021 goal is to have 40% digitized quality training. And hopefully by the end of the year 2020, financial year 2022, we'll have 70% of digitized quality training. Anyways, I just wanted to share this plan and this goal from a quality training perspective for the district this year. And I just wanted to share something in the end. So in your role as area director, you enhance your own communication and leadership skills while giving back to your community of Toastmasters. The invaluable experience you gain during your time as area director can prepare you for additional responsibility in Toastmasters leadership. And as I always love leaving with a quote, and we all do as being Toastmasters, or going out with a motivational message, here's an interesting one for you all. Now this is from my favorite actor or person in the world, Will Smith. I just love him and love the passion and energy he has for life. He said, he says, you don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I am going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been there or been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. I'm going to repeat that. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. I hope that will resonate with your leadership journey this year. And I hope you have taken something valuable from this session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Namrita. Thank you very much. Hopefully you've all been able to gain something from the valuable information that Namrita has had to share, and realise it's not just about ticking a box, that it's about assisting clubs to grow, and that you are the link between the club and district. And remember, when you write your reports, that somebody's going to read it. So you want to read it so that it's a positive experience for them.